Good evening to all of you. This is the first time I come to the new building of BGF. In the old section 19, I was there several years ago. Tonight, the topic of the talk is how to get a good rebirth. Most of us, we strive very hard to have a good life. Yeah, there are many things that we want. You want money, we want property, etc., family, etc. But many people at the end of their life, when life is ending, they suddenly start to think, what is life all about? Yeah, many people like that. But they should have asked the question many years ago, when they had the time to do something. If you ask some people, what do you want with life? Or what do you hope to get in life? Many of them will say they want to be rich, want to be a millionaire or a billionaire. And some people, they want to achieve other goals. But even if you became very rich, at the end of it all, then you realize you don't really understand what is life about. In the Christian Bible, there is a famous verse. It says, what does it profit a man if he gains the whole world, but suffers the loss of his own soul? Yeah, you can gain the whole world, but at the end of life, you will realize that you're going to suffer. So a lot of people engage in what is called the un-Aryan quest in life. This is in the Arya Pariyesana Sutta of the Majjhima Nikaya. But the Buddha says the quest in life should be more than that. So in life, if we think carefully that we are going to pass away in, say, 75 years, then after that, a long eternity of time awaits us in the future. So to invest your energy only in this life is very short-sighted. If you are long-sighted, you look further beyond the 75 years. And at the end of life, the most pressing question that confronts us is where you are going for rebirth. And for a lot of people, that is a very frightening question. Because 2 or 3 days before you pass away, another world will appear in your consciousness. And you will see another world. And according to the Buddha, most people will go for rebirth in the woeful plains, in the 3 woeful plains. So they get very frightened. Have you seen people on their deathbed very happy? Once in a blue moon, very seldom. Yeah. So, if you take rebirth in hell, the worst destination, firstly, I must say, probably most of you know that there are 5 destinations of rebirth. Later books like the Mahayana and the Abhidhamma, they talk about 6 destinations of rebirth. Or in the suttas, it is consistently said that there are 5 destinations of rebirth. 2 happy destinations, which is the human plane and the heavenly plane. And the 3 woeful destinations are the ghost realm, the animal realm, and the hell realm. And we know that the worst is the hell realm. You suffer for so long, it seems like an eternity. So the Buddha said, if a person were to gamble for the first time, for example, he goes to Genting Highland, and then gambling for the first time, he loses all his wealth. And not only that, he loses all his property. And not only that, he loses his wife and children. And not only that, he himself goes into slavery. He has to become somebody else's slave. Isn't that a fool? Yeah? But the Buddha said, worse than that, is to take rebirth in hell. If at the end of life, you go to hell, the Buddha said, that is the perfect fool. You are given a chance in life to determine your future, to determine where you are going on for rebirth. But you wasted that chance. Yeah. Not only you wasted the chance to go to heaven, you went to the worst place, hell. So the Buddha calls that the perfect fool. But if you take rebirth in heaven, the Buddha said, you are the wisest person. A wise person will take rebirth in heaven. This is what the Buddha said. But nowadays, there are some people say they don't want to go for rebirth in heaven. Better to take rebirth as a human being. And that's sour grapes. I think so easy to be born in heaven. Not so easy. So, what determines your rebirth? A lot of things we don't know. We have to know, and all this is in the suttas. About 10,000 suttas, discourses of the Buddha. You find in the 45 years that the Buddha's ministry, that the Buddha went around teaching, the main thing, or the only thing that he taught was the Dhamma. You don't find the Buddha going to some place and teaching meditation to lay people. Yeah? No. Buddha only taught the Dhamma. And then if you want to progress further, after finding out the basic things in the Dhamma, then if you want to meditate, you can. But for lay people, meditation is very difficult. And the goal of meditation is almost impossible for lay people. So that's why the Buddha always taught the Dhamma. But the Dhamma is extremely important because just by listening to the Dhamma, thousands and thousands of people attain stream entry. There's one time, 120,000 people, never seen the Buddha, never heard the Buddha. They came to the Buddha for the first time. The Buddha taught the Dhamma. At the end of it, the Buddha said 120,000 people attain stream entry. Another time, 80,000 people came to listen to the Buddha. All also attain stream entry. And the Buddha says once you attain stream entry, which is the first path, within the same lifetime, you will become a Sotapanna, first fruit Arya. Mm-hmm. So, the Dhamma is very important for us to know a lot of truths, a lot of things about reality, about the world. make us a wise person. Now, in the Dhamma and the Vinaya, sorry, my voice not so good. Been sick the last few days. On the night of enlightenment, the Buddha meditated until he attained the 4 jhanas. After he attained the 4 jhanas, psychic power came to him. So the first watch of the night, which was from 6 to 10 p.m., the Buddha contemplated the past lives, his past lives. Hundreds and thousands of past lives. Then he realized who he was in the past. And he also realized that he met one Sammasambuddha in his past life, the Buddha Kassapa, the previous Sammasambuddha. But later books talk about 24 Buddhas, 48 Buddhas, 80,000 Buddhas in the Mahayana, etc. So the Buddha actually only met one Sammasambuddha. And the Buddha said, he looked into the past for so long, he only saw 6 Buddhas willing to teach the Dhamma. 6 Buddhas willing to teach the Dhamma. And then also over a span of 91 world cycles. So 91 world cycles, only 6 Buddhas are willing to teach. But actually there are thousands of Buddhas. And these are Pacceka Buddhas who refuse to teach. So it's very rare to meet the true Dhamma. You have a lot of Dhammas around, but a lot of false Dhamma. So on the night of enlightenment, the first watch, the Buddha contemplated the past lives. The second watch, which is from 10 p.m. until 2 a.m., the Buddha used his psychic eye, or divine eye, to contemplate living beings, how they live their life, and then they pass away, where they took rebirth, what they did, and after that, where they took rebirth again. And then the Buddha understood that our rebirth goes according to our karma, our actions of body, speech, and mind. So the Buddha found that if a person did wholesome actions or good actions which benefit other beings, then he takes a good rebirth. If he does unwholesome actions which harm other living beings, evil actions, then he goes into the woeful planes of rebirth, the 3 woeful planes. So here it is very clear that karma, the actions we do through the body, speech and mind are extremely important. So we have to contemplate every day our actions, our body actions, our verbal actions, and our thoughts. And for this, you have to use the 4 objects of sati, 4 objects of recollection, which is the 7th factor of the Aryan Eightfold Path. And you also have to use the 6th factor of the Aryan Eightfold Path, which is right effort. I'll talk more about that later. So, it's very important that we don't do evil karma that harms others. So what is that evil karma that harms others? The Buddha said there are 10 types of evil karma that can harm others. 3 is through our body actions, 4 is through our speech, and 3 is through our mental actions. The 3 through our body actions is to kill, purposely kill, to take what is not given to you, in other words, to steal, and thirdly, to engage in sexual misconduct. You already have a husband or a wife. If you engage in sex with some other persons, that is sexual misconduct. So, this is the body evil karma. Then the speech evil karma is to lie or cheat people. Firstly. Secondly is to carry tales. You hear A talking about B, you go and tell B. Last night A said this and that about you. Then you cause them to quarrel. Yeah. You cause disharmony. This is called divisive speech. The third type of verbal misconduct, evil action, is coarse speech, vulgar speech, saying bad words, abusive words. There's the third. The fourth is idle gossip, cakap banyak, wasting time. Time is very precious. Our life is not long, 75 years, and every day most of you have to work. So the free time that you have is very little. So if you engage in idle talk, you are wasting your life and wasting other people's life. So that is speech, the four evil karmas. To lie or cheat people, to carry tales and cause disharmony, to engage in coarse or vulgar speech, abusive speech. And the fourth is idle gossip. Then the third is mental actions. The first unwholesome mental action is covetousness. Covetousness means wanting other people's things, wanting other people's husband or wife, wanting other people's business, wealth, etc. If you are covetousness, then that will lead you to do evil karma. So, but that itself is evil karma, covetousness. The second one is ill will or anger. There are some people very prone to anger. He presses his button and it explodes. So it becomes a habit. This one sutta where the Buddha said, whatever a person constantly thinks and ponders upon, that becomes his habitual pattern. If a person constantly gets angry, then he's more prone to anger. If a person always thinks of sensual thoughts and watches pornography, etc., he's always thinking of lustful thoughts that might bring him to an animal rebirth. So, this covetousness is one of those. The third one is wrong view. Wrong view is not believing in karma vipaka. If a person does not believe in karma vipaka, then he is not afraid to do anything. Yeah. You don't believe that you have to pay for your actions, then you just do what you like. Another component of this wrong view is not believing that there is rebirth. That after you die, there's rebirth. There's some people like that, they think after we die, nothing. End of the show. But the show will continue for a long time. The third component of wrong view is not believing that there are holy men, the people who walk the Aryan path and become holy. So this is the three unwholesome thoughts, unwholesome mental actions. So these 10 evil karmas are very important that you avoid. Now, so you can also say that the good karma is the opposite or the converse of these 10. Not to kill, not to steal, not to engage in sexual misconduct, not to lie, etc. But there is a sutta where the Buddha said, there are 3 ways to get blessings, punya. 3 ways to get blessings. Blessings is also wholesome karma. And these 3 things are very important. It's not only not killing, not stealing, etc., but more than that, more positive than that, is 3 things. This formula is dana, sila, bhavana. Dana is charity. Charity means having a kind heart. In Hokkien we say, Ului chut lui, ulat chut lat. Yeah? Do what you can. Helping others in what little way you can. Don't think if a person, for example, does a little charity, that his merit is very little. If he's a poor person, if he does a bit of charity, his blessings or merit may be more than a rich person who gives 1,000 ringgit. Yeah? Because for a rich person to give 1,000 ringgit, sap soy, very easy. Yeah? But for a poor person to give 5 ringgit is difficult. So the blessings may be more. So dana is charity, helping others wherever you can. This is the easiest to do, so the blessings is not so great. The second step is sila. Sila is keeping precepts so that we don't harm others. You can also call it moral conduct. And what sila is expected of you as laypersons? Some people say 5 precepts. Some people say 8 precepts. But actually, it is 7 precepts. In the Aryan Eightfold Path, generally people consider 3 factors to be the sila component, and that is right speech, right action, and right livelihood. And if you investigate these 3 factors, it consists of 7 precepts. Right speech is 4 precepts. Just now we mentioned, not to lie, not to carry tales, not to engage in coarse speech, not to engage in idle gossip. And then right action is not to kill, not to take what is not given, or not to steal, and not to engage in sexual misconduct. And right livelihood, if you keep the right speech and right action, then there's no more precept under right livelihood. It is covered by right speech and right action. So these 7 precepts is the sila component. It's also called the Aryan Sila. Aryan Sila is not perfect sila, because in the suttas it is said that even an Arya can break the minor precepts. Only thing is, an Arya is a very straightforward person. He will not hide. He will not hide any wrongdoing. So these are the 7 precepts under Sila. So Sila is harder to do, harder to uphold. So it has greater blessings than Dana. The third is Bhavana. Bhavana is development. Development. What? Development of what? 2 things. Development of the mind and development of your character. Development of your character means changing your character from a bad person to a good person. The Buddha said, if you want to go to heaven, you have to change your character until you have the character of a Deva or a Devi. Then only are you qualified to go to heaven. It's not by praying, not by making vows, not for crying, etc. So, changing your character means getting rid of your unwholesome states and developing wholesome states. This is very hard to do. But if you can do that, the merit is very great. For example, Angulimala used to be a murderer, a bandit who killed hundreds of people. After the Buddha went to him and taught him the Dhamma, he probably attained stream entry and then became a monk under the Buddha. Then after that, he knew that his karma was very heavy. He struggled very hard and became an arahant. So he did not have to pay for that bad karma. So bhavana, changing your characters, is very meritorious. And development of your mind means getting rid of the 5 hindrances. The Buddha said the 5 hindrances are 5 things that if they are very strong and they are constantly present, they become an obstruction to you. And the Buddha said they are makers of blindness, preventing you from getting right view and preventing you from seeing things as they really are. So the only way to get rid of these 5 hindrances is meditation, the Buddha's way. Because in the suttas, whenever Ananda was asked what type of meditation is praised by the Buddha, and whenever Ananda said the first jhana, second jhana, third jhana, fourth jhana. So for lay persons, it's almost impossible for lay persons to attain the jhanas. So that's why the Buddha did not go around teaching meditation to lay persons. But the Dhamma lay persons can understand. And that is considered more important. Meditation is for those who want to attain the higher stages after Sotapanna. If they want to attain the second fruit or the third fruit or the fourth fruit, then they need to meditate and attain the jhanas. Now this dana and sila is worldly blessings, you can say. Whereas bhavana is spiritual blessing. So, in the suttas, the Buddha said that most beings, after we pass away, will be reborn into the woeful plains of rebirth, the 3 woeful plains of rebirth. So, if you want to come back as a human being, the Buddha said, dana and sila is a must. You must be charitable and be of moral conduct. So the Buddha said, if dana and sila, a person upholds dana and sila to a slight extent, slightly generous, and keeps his sila a little, then the Buddha said, he will be reborn as a human being with little blessings, not much luck in life. For example, born to a poor family, cari makan susah. But if you uphold dana and sila to a middle degree, then the Buddha said, you will be reborn as a human being with great blessings. Say like born to a rich family, easy to cari makan, finding a livelihood is easy, etc. And then dana and sila, if you do it on a superior level, for example, like Bill Gates, and nowadays, who's nowadays very popular, Chow Yun Fat, then you are likely to go to heaven, the Buddha said. Heaven also, only the sensual desire heavens. Above us, in the sensual desire realm, there are 6 heavens above us. So with this dana and sila, you can be reborn in those 6 heavens. But you cannot go above that. If you want to go above to the jhana heavens, you need to cultivate jhana. So now the important question, what is it that determines the karma we perform? There are certain people, they are prone to do unwholesome karma. But there are some people who their character is such that they are prone to do good karma. Why is that? It is our mind that determines. If you have a wholesome mind, you will do wholesome actions. Yeah. If you have an unwholesome mind, you will do evil actions. No? For example, if you are full of greed and full of anger, then you get into fights, and you want to steal people's things, etc. But if you don't have greed and anger, then you'll be a more gentle person. In the Dhammapada, verses 1 and 2, the Buddha said, mind is the forerunner of all states. Yeah, mind is the forerunner of all states. If one acts with a pure mind, happiness follows one. Like what? Like the hoof of the ox or something. And if one acts with an impure mind, suffering follows one. Mm-hmm. So it is our mind that is very important. That's why in Buddhism, mind is so important. So unwholesome mind states spring from three roots. These three roots, what we call greed, hatred, and delusion. These are unwholesome states of mind. Mm-hmm. Greed, you understand. Hatred or anger, you understand. Delusion. Anybody can tell me the difference between delusion and ignorance? Most of us, we don't think very hard about this. But a few weeks ago, somebody asked me the difference. Then I have to put on my thinking cap. Really think. Anybody can tell me? What's the difference? Now in the suttas, the Buddha defined ignorance as not knowing or not understanding the four Aryan truths. You don't understand the four Aryan truths, the four noble truths, then you will live your life in an unskillful way. But delusion is an unwholesome state of mind, a mind that is so blurred that you cannot see things as they really are. Even if the Buddha was in front of you and taught you the Dhamma, you can understand. Because your five hindrances are so strong, makes you blind, cannot see things as they really are. Mm-hmm. So delusion is very hard to get rid of because it's a state of mind. And for that, you need a gradual training, listening to the Dhamma, and if you can't understand, then you have to meditate. Meditate to focus your mind. Most of us, our mind is very unfocused. Because our mind is not focused, it's like a camera. You take a photo with a unfocused camera, everything becomes blur. Yeah. So in the same way, when our mind is deluded, everything is blur. So from these three roots, greed, hatred, and delusion, you get other unwholesome states, like what? Selfishness, sloth and torpor, restlessness and remorse, shamelessness, arrogance, deceitful, unmindful, cruel, etc. So we need to change our character and cultivate wholesome states. What are wholesome states? Generosity, loving kindness, mindful and aware. You are diligent, a calm mind or tranquil mind, humble character, compassionate person. All these are wholesome states. So, our mind states determine our character. Yeah? And And then your character determines your soul. You find most monks and nuns, Buddhist monks and nuns, they say there is no soul. I also used to say there is no soul. Nowadays, I believe there is a soul. The reason why I thought there was no soul, like many people, because I used to think that soul means something that is permanent, everlasting. This is the Christian concept. This is the Muslim concept. It is not the Buddhist concept. When I checked the Oxford English Dictionary, I found that it says, soul is a spiritual part of man, often assumed to be permanent. It's only assumed by some people to be permanent. It's not necessarily permanent. So in the soul in Chinese we say 灵魂, 灵魂, yeah. And in Hinduism they talk about it.